Welcome to our webinar in Transition to School. My name is Michele Peden and I'm the Pedagogical Thinker in Residence at Big Fat Smile. My role supports and guides the overall professional practices across all of our services catering for children birth to 12 years, inclusive of curriculum decision making and teaching and learning practices. It is my pleasure to talk about the importance of transition school, and this will be the first part of a two-part webinar series. This part of the series will be looking at the benefits of play-based learning in early education and care services. The first part of the series focuses on brain development in the early years and highlights the knowledge and skills children acquire as they engage in a variety of experiences offered under play-based educational programs. The learning that takes place in the early years prepares them for lifelong learning. Please note, for the purpose of this series, early education and care services relates to long day care services, term-only preschools and prep schools. Highlighting the importance of early education and care can't be underestimated, as it formulates the foundations for a child's learning and development. The importance of early years lies in rapid growth in which the brain develops. To put this in perspective, research suggests early brain development is dependent on a number of variables, inclusive of parents and carers, family members, educators, surrounding environment, experiences with other people and the world. Children grow best in safe and supportive environments where they have a multitude of opportunities to play, explore and learn. As seen on this slide, 90% of a child's brain development occurs by the age of 5 years. 700 new neural connections per second occur before the age of 5 and is formed by the back and forth interactions children have with others in their environment and around them. The impact of the first 2,000 days of a child's life, that is conception to 5 years of age, lasts a lifetime for health, well-being and fulfilment. 1 in 5 children start their first year of school in New South Wales are developmentally vulnerable and on one or more domains of development. And what has your child learnt through play in early education to prepare them for school? When we talk about play-based learning, play is important for healthy brain development. Play is optimal and is essential to child development as it contributes to their cognitive, social, physical, social, emotional well-being. Play allows children to develop new competencies that lead to enhanced confidence and resilience as they face new challenges. As you can see here, there are a number of play spaces that families and parents often view within an early childhood service. Science learning spaces, for example, look at the frontal and occipital lobe, which looks at thought and visual processing in brain development. These experiences help children develop abstract and critical thinking, formulate and test hypotheses, observational skills, calculated risk-taking, visual discrimination, and attainment and concentration. When they're looking at books or quiet areas, your children are learning here around early literacy, symbol recognition, interacting with print and decoding, creating and critical thinking, fine motor and eye-hand coordination, and also memory recall and development. The part of the brain that's being exercised in these experiences is the occipital lobe, which is around visual processing. When looking at the active play spaces that your children are involved in early learning services, we are looking at the cerebellum part of the brain, which deals with balance and coordination. Educators set up experiences that help support their fundamental movement skills, their fine and gross motor development, their spatial awareness, their balance and strength, their self-esteem, confidence and independence, their sense of belonging and communication. And there's a various number of construction spaces also in early learning services. This looks at the parietal lobe, the tactile part of the brain, and these experiences help develop children's spatial concepts, cause and effect, abstract thinking, fine motor, numeracy and engineering. SEND play is another major component of early childhood services programs. Again, brain development is still being exercised around the frontal and parietal lobes, around their thought and tactile. The experiences that are offered here and the development that occurs is around eye-hand coordination and fine motor, problem solving, hypothesizing, cooperation and communication, mathematics, and creative and imagination. A variety of manipulative experiences are also offered. And again, this looks at the frontal and parietal lobe and also further develops their fine motor and high hand coordination, their self-regulation, developing symbolic thought, expressive and receptive language, and again increases their mathematical and scientific concepts. Other common spaces are music and movement. The frontal lobe is exercised in brain development, and these experiences offer children the opportunities to increase their spatial awareness, improve their concentration, develop aesthetic awareness, further enhance their concept awareness around pitch and tones, etc., looks at their sensory stimulation and their perseverance. Dramatic play spaces provide valuable opportunities for creative and imaginative play, express and understand emotions, increase initiative levels, increase their confidence and self-esteem, further develop their problem-solving and negotiating skills with others, and they learn to collaborate, take turns, and cooperate with others. A couple of other spaces that are often noted in early childhood services are visual arts. The parietal lobe, which is their hands-on, again is exercised and developed with their brain. Creating, imagining, and experimenting is important. Self-regulation, their visual discrimination, problem-solving, abstract thinking, eye-hand coordination, and expressive and receptive language. Sensory learning experiences, whether that's through Play-Doh, sand, mud play, and so forth, again look at sensory awareness, developing their touch, sight, sound, and smell. Scientific concepts are also explored, such as floating and sinking, and social relationships development is also enhanced through these experiences. Building resilience and perseverance, problem solving, and fine motor and eye-hand coordination are also further developed. So how do early childhood educators support children's play and learning? Early childhood teachers and educators play a significant role in supporting children's learning and development. Educators form strong partnerships with families to provide the optimal learning opportunity in order to meet individual children's needs. As children grow and develop, educators are able to support their learning and build up those long life learning skills. Educators can assist children's growth and development through play in the following ways. They provide strong, secure attachments with children. They're able to model and demonstrate various skills to build on the children's current knowledge and skills across all developmental domains. They offer opportunities for children to explore, investigate, and pursue their interests and passion across a range of learning experiences. They facilitate play by providing resources rich with sounds, textures, words, and materials that are culturally and contextually meaningful. Extend their learning with children by hypothesizing, asking open-ended questions, and guiding discussions on how their ideas can be further explored. And they also pose questions that encourage children to problem-solve strategies and form predictions in play. Integrated teaching and learning approach is also used, and this is often done through quality learning environments which combine three approaches to learning. There's an adult-led where educators introduce the ideas and concepts and topics for exploration, but children are also encouraged to direct their play and learning as well with the support of educators. They're able to explore, experiment, and investigate. Guided play and learning allows educators to be involved in and plan children's play alongside children and scaffold their learning whilst in tune with their developmental abilities, interests, and strengths. What does quality school readiness look like in an early education and care setting? This often occurs from birth to 6 years of age, and it looks different in different settings. It reflects purposeful and meaningful routines and daily educational plan-based programs. It has embedded philosophy and educational vision to support the learning and development of children in preparation for school. There are learning-rich environments which focus on literacy, pre-numeracy, science and technology. And it also encourages children's independence and self-help abilities, as well as supporting children's social and emotional development. Assisting children transition to kindergarten, there's a number of tips that parents and educators can work alongside each other to allow the best opportunity for them as they begin school. Research indicates that children involved in high-quality early education and education programs benefit from increased learning outcomes, translating to positive lifelong learning behaviours. Early childhood educators can liaise with local schools and organise joint transition to school visiting programs. This year under COVID, however, this may look a little different, so it's encouraged that parents are contacting their local schools just to understand how their orientation programs are formulated this year. Parents can also ask educators to provide them and primary schools with information on children's developmental achievements and needs to support their transition to school. And this is often done via the Transition to School statement available from the Office of Education. Some information included in this statement includes the child's overall developmental strengths, their interests, teaching strategies, and the best support in providing support for children's learning. Children can add their voice by communicating their perceptions about starting school, and parents have the opportunity of adding personal information and goals for their children. Participating in the school orientation program is also important. As a parent, once you've chosen a primary school, it's very important to find out about the school's orientation program. As mentioned under COVID, some of these orientation programs and even school orientation tours are offered online. Again, it's best to check with your school. During orientation, children are given opportunities to visualise various physical spaces. In this year, that could either be online or in person. And that includes classrooms, playgrounds, canteens, toilets, and additional school facilities. This can help ease parents and children's natural anxieties that they may have about starting primary school. Children will also have the chance to meet other children and teachers either online or in person under COVID restrictions as they participate in a range of experiences. Parents are also offered the opportunity to visit school grounds if restrictions allowed in COVID and collect information about routines. Also, it's important for practical preparation in this space. Parents can encourage children to wear their school uniform at home before they begin school next year, so that feels familiar to them when they have to start primary school. It's also important that school items are labelled, their lunchbox, bags, clothes, etc., with a familiar symbol and the child's name so they can easily recognise their own belongings. Prior to the first day, jointly shop for school equipment, as this can assist the child in starting school with a positive mindset. Promoting open conversations with your child about starting primary school is also important. Beginning these conversations this year and continuing them until next year will help them feel more at ease. Having open conversations with children about starting primary school will allow them to ask you a variety of questions so they gain a better understanding about what school will be like. Reading children's books that focus on starting school can assist children conceptualise what to expect from their first day. It's also important to actively listen and talk about children's fears or concerns they may have about starting school, so you can jointly explore ways to reduce their anxiety. The importance of predictable routines also assists in them preparing for school. The importance of predictable home routines can't be underestimated. Parents can assist children in preparing for school by implementing a predictable night routine. Children feel a greater sense of responsibility, confidence and independence if they are encouraged to follow a predictable routine. This will help children become more relaxed and cooperative at the end of the day when children are tired. For example, avoid any screen time half an hour before bed, as this only stimulates the brain and can unsettle children's sleeping patterns. Begin the night routine by encouraging children to have a bath or shower, followed by brushing their teeth, supervised by an adult, and getting into bed at the same time each night. End the night routine with a bedtime story and finally some relaxing music perhaps to help calm and relax them as they fall asleep. Similarly, parents can also encourage children to have a predictable morning routine. For example, getting out of bed, having some breakfast, brushing their teeth, and assisting parents pack their school bag and assisting them in preparing a healthy lunch. This again will assist children stay focused and get ready to depart for school. Some children even benefit from following a morning routine chart, as this encourages children to take ownership of the morning, encourage their self-help skills, and increase their levels of independence. The development of positive and social and emotional skills is paramount to educational success, even more so than sometimes the academic milestones we often think about, and it encourages a more smooth transition into primary school. Children need the confidence in expressing their feelings and needs to others. They need to be able to ask questions, take turns in games and activities, play cooperatively with others, and be able to approach other children and make friends. Also, they need to be able to follow simple directions and understand some rules and make decisions independently and manage their emotions. Parents can support children by playing board games and simple games, children learning to take turns and how to follow rules and procedures and develop self-regulatory behaviours if they don't win. Encourage children to complete some simple tasks and increase children's social opportunities with other children. Parents and carers can also encourage children to assist self-help seeking behaviours and problem-solving skills, especially when faced with various social situations. This can be achieved by reading books around these themes and providing opportunities to socialise and have open conversations. Self-help skills underpin many school-related tasks. Therefore, it's imperative children are given opportunities to develop their ability to negotiate and handle everyday tasks in order for them to participate in life activities. This involves dressing, feeding, toileting, brushing teeth, brushing hands, and hand washing. Parents can support children in these tasks by providing visual schedules of the steps involved around different tasks, encouraging children to follow the same routine or strategy each day, and use consistent instructions and language to support children in completing a task. And most importantly, allow sufficient time for a child to practice these tasks. Often children get frustrated if they're rushed through these things and don't develop competency as well. It's important that children have opportunities to practice tying their shoelaces, handling buttons or zippers, unwrapping their lunches, or dressing in their uniforms. Play-based learning opportunities such as dramatic play in early education and care services with dressing dolls and dress-ups will nurture these self-help skills. Self-help tasks initially are supported by parents. However, as children mature, they will want to increase their levels of independence in performing these tasks on their own. Giving them opportunities of practicing these skills before starting school will not only increase their competence, but will also give them confidence in independently performing them in their new environment. Children's normal growth and development needs to be supported by good nutritional practices, sufficient sleep and physical activity. The Australian 24-hour movement guidelines recommends children 3 to 5 years of age need at least 180 minutes of physical activity per day, especially 60 minutes of energetic play, and no more than 1 hour of sedentary activities, sitting-based activities, and approximately 10 to 13 hours of good quality sleep. Parents can also encourage children to be sufficiently active every day and get adequate levels of sleep in alignment with these guidelines. This will assist children's capacity to lead a healthy lifestyle and cope with new challenges in primary school. Parents can also assist children by promoting healthy eating behaviours so they have sufficient energy and nutrition to growth. Finally, limit extracurricular activities in their first year of school. Children in their first year of primary school quickly become exhausted as they are navigating a multitude of new skills and emotions as they adjust to new daily routines. Limiting after-school curricular activities can assist children adjust to a new routine and allow them time to emotionally respond and adjust to their new learning environment. Even children that have attended an early education service will become exhausted. So having time in the afternoon after school to play and relax is important for their well-being. Children that are often enrolled in multiple after-school activities are at risk of burning out, and this is when potential behavioural challenges may arise in children, as it is a sign when they are not coping. I hope this webinar has given you some information and insight into how children develop their skills and abilities in early education and some of the tips and tricks that will allow them a smooth transition into primary school.